各位记者朋友，大家
Good afternoon. Welcome to the press conference. Now the floor is open to questions. CCTV. Yesterday, President Xi Jinping concluded his state visit to Malaysia. It has been 12 years since President Xi's last visit to Malaysia. Could you share more about this visit? From April 15 to 17, President Xi Jinping paid a state visit to Malaysia at the invitation of the Malaysian side. During the visit, President Xi Jinping met with King of Malaysia, His Majesty Sultan Ibrahim, and held talks with Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. The leaders of the two countries witnessed the exchange of 30-plus bilateral cooperation documents. The two sides signed a joint statement on building a high-level strategic China-Malaysia community with a shared future. During the visit, President Xi made an important three-point proposal on building a high-level strategic China-Malaysia community with a shared future. First, uphold strategic independence and carry out high-level strategic coordination. Both countries should continue on the development path suited to their respective national conditions, resolutely support each other in safeguarding national sovereignty, security, and development interests. A 2+2 diplomatic and defense dialogue mechanism will be established to deepen exchanges and cooperation on national security, defense, and law enforcement. Second, combine forces for development and set a benchmark for high-quality development cooperation. The two sides should work together to cultivate and expand cooperation in frontier areas and push for the transformation and upgrade of cooperation in traditional fields and promote two-way investments. The two countries should promote real sea intermodal transport, upgrade two countries' twin parks, and turn Malaysia's major ports into important hubs of the new international land-sea trade corridor. Third, carry forward the friendship forged through generations and deepen inter-civilizational exchanges and mutual learning. The two sides should jointly advance Confucianism-Islam dialogue, take the opportunity of signing a mutual visa exemption agreement to foster closer people-to-people bond. China always firmly supports ASEAN unity, the building of ASEAN community, and ASEAN centrality in the regional architecture. President Xi stressed that China supports Malaysia in playing its role as ASEAN chair and stands ready to sign the China-ASEAN Free Trade Area Upgrade Protocol with regional countries as early as possible. Together, we will reject decoupling, supply disruption, small yard high fence, and tariff abuse with openness, inclusiveness, solidarity, and cooperation. Counter the law of the jungle where the strong prey on the weak with the Asian values of peace, cooperation, openness, and inclusiveness, and address instability and uncertainty in the world with the stability and certainty of Asia. China and Malaysia are neighbors across the sea with a time-honored friendship. Last year, we marked the 50th anniversary of our diplomatic ties. As important members of developing countries and the Global South, deepening our high-level strategic cooperation is in the interest of both countries and is conducive to peace, stability, and prosperity of the region and the world. China will work with Malaysia to deliver on the important outcomes of the visit, ensure that our high-level strategic community with a shared future will brave headwinds and move forward and charter the next golden 50 years of China-Malaysia relations. China will remain committed to the principle of amity, sincerity, mutual benefit, and inclusiveness in neighborhood diplomacy and work with ASEAN countries to build a closer China-ASEAN community with a shared future. Next one, please.
Question from Reuters.
路透社，关于从柬埔寨遣返回中国大陆的台湾人，您有更多信息可以提供吗？
中方对柬埔寨政府
The Cambodian government has handled the issue under the principle of One China. We appreciate that China will work with relevant countries on law enforcement, counter online fraud, and protect the legitimate rights and interests of Chinese citizens overseas, and uphold the normal exchange order between China and relevant countries. Next question, please.
谢谢发言人。总台中国之声记者提问：中方刚刚发布了肯尼亚。
CNR. To follow up on Kenya President Ruto's visit to China, could you share with us the program and China's expectation? How does China view its current relations with Kenya? The friendship between China and Kenya dates back to the ancient maritime Silk Road. In the new era, the two countries have established a comprehensive strategic cooperative partnership, conducted frequent high-level exchanges, deepened political mutual trust, enjoyed fruitful Belt and Road cooperation, and worked closely on regional and international issues. This will be the first state visit to China by an African head of state since the Beijing summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, FOCAC. During the visit, President Xi Jinping will hold a welcome ceremony and a welcome banquet for President Ruto. The two presidents will have talks. Premier Li Qiang and Chairman Zhao Leji will meet with President Ruto. We believe this visit will contribute to deepening China's relations with Kenya, carrying out the outcomes of the FOCAC Beijing summit, building an all-weather China-Africa community with a shared future for the new era, and promoting the solidarity and the cooperation of the Global South. Next one, please.
谢谢。日本 NHK
日本广播协会 NHK is reported that the Chinese government will rallied an informal UNGA meeting on U.S. tariffs next week. Could you please share with us China's intention of this meeting and what will be talked about at this informal meeting of UNGA?
近期
Recently, the U.S. has ignored the outcomes regarding the balance of interests through multilateral trade negotiations and has abused the tariffs under the pretext of reciprocity and fairness. This seriously impacts the global economic order and multilateral trading system and seriously undermines countries' interests and well-being. Such unilateral and hegemonic and bullying moves also pose unprecedented difficulties and challenges to the UN and the multilateral course. We support the international community in using various platforms, including UNGA, to have discussions, deepen understanding on the harm of unilateralism and hegemonic moves, reiterate our commitment to multilateralism and the purposes and principles of the UN Charter, and build up consensus on strengthening the role of the UN and safeguarding the legitimate rights to development of all countries. Next question, please. Dragon TV is reported that during President Xi Jinping's state visit to Malaysia, China and Malaysia signed the mutual visa exemption agreement. What's your comment? China and Malaysia share long-standing friendship, similar visions, intertwined interests, and close cultural and people-to-people bond. During President Xi Jinping's state visit to Malaysia, the two governments officially signed the agreement on mutual visa exemption for holders of official and ordinary passports. This move will definitely boost personnel exchanges between the two countries and bilateral interactions and cooperation in various fields, and take the building of a China-Malaysia community with a shared future to new heights. Next question, please.
环球时报记者提问。
Global Times, the third meeting of the national coordinators of the Group of Friends in Defense of the UN Charter was held in Moscow. Outcome documents were issued after the meeting to reject the weaponization of tariffs and other trade tools and call for an end to unilateral and bullying actions. China attended the meeting. Could you share more information on that? On April 14 and 15, the Group of Friends in Defense of the UN Charter held the third meeting of the national coordinators in Moscow. The meeting was attended by high-level representatives from the group's member states, including China, Russia, Venezuela, Cuba, Belarus, Iran, and partner countries. The meeting issued a political declaration which expressed serious concerns over the disruption of the multilateral trading system with the WTO at its core. It pointed out that the abuse of tariffs would have a serious negative impact on the sovereignty and development interests of countries, especially those in the global south, as well as the international system. It opposed the weaponization of trade tools such as tariffs and called for an immediate end to unilateral measures and bullying acts aimed at conquering and controlling other countries. Parties attending the meeting emphasized that unilateral sanctions and tariff barriers are a serious violation of the purposes and principles of the UN Charter. Countries in the global south should unite as one, strengthen multilateral cooperation, jointly oppose unjust external pressure, promote the establishment of a fairer and more just new international order, and safeguard the legitimate rights of all countries to peace and development. This meeting sent a clear message of supporting multilateralism, upholding the purposes and principles of the UN Charter, and opposing unilateral coercive measures and economic bullying. It reflects the strong aspiration of the member states of the group to reject hegemonism and power politics, and uphold their interests and rights and international fairness and justice, and shows the firm resolve of countries, in particular the global south, to stand together against external pressure. We urge the U.S. to heed the call for justice from the international community and seek to resolve the issue through dialogue on the basis and refrain from moving further down the wrong path of unilateralism and bullying. Next one, please.
Question from Bloomberg.
彭博社，英国政府提出关切，表示英国公司使用中国制造的无人机来拍摄英国重要关键基础设施的高清图片，中方对此有何回应？ The Chinese government has never asked and will never ask any company to collect or store data against the laws. China firmly opposes relevant parties' groundless suspicion and vilification against China that lacks factual basis. Relevant departments of the UK side should stop politicizing economic issues and overstretching the concept of national security. Stop going after and accusing China's high-tech companies. Instead, they should do more things that promote bilateral cooperation between the two sides. Next one, please.
还有其他问题吗？
Any more questions?
好，那今天的记者会就到这里，谢谢大家。
That's the end of today's press conference. Thank you for coming.